This is just a workshop. I don't generally come with an agenda. I mean, I've got some stuff I can show off if you want me to, but I'd rather you all ask questions and let's talk through our marketing issues, what's going on with our sites, what's going on with AI, where are we at, what can we do? And Brian, you were first on the group. I will pick on you first.
So I guess I don't really understand the difference between SEO and GEO. I mean, I'm starting to, but maybe if you could tell me a little bit about what that means.
Okay, so SEO is designed to get search engines to give your pages up as results when somebody does a long tail keyword search. Homes in Columbia, South Carolina on a corner lot. Homes in Columbia, South Carolina by, the water. Things like that. Those long tail keyword searches that we've been working on for years and years, most of us have been on this call. And those are going to be returned through search engines. Search engines generally would, right now, Google is the primary, and then Bing, and then Yahoo, and then some others. So those long tail keywords are what we program into our sites. We program it into our blogs, we repeat them, and we try to get those going. Generative AI SEO, basically, or GEO as they call it, that's where you want to go to the four large language models, which are ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude, and Grok. You want to go to those four models and you need to tell it about you. It does not go and crawl the internet, okay? But it will learn things about you. So if Michelle goes on and says, "Hi, I'm Michelle, and I work at this brokerage, and I'm in northern New Jersey, and I've been an agent for how many years, and I sell this much, and I'm really good at, and my goal with my clients would be, and all this stuff." And then Michelle keeps updating these four sites. Think of them as ants who love you. I love this metaphor. So, Brian, you are their favorite nephew. You have four aunts who love you. They bake you cakes at Christmas and your birthday, and they just dote on you. And you need to tell each of those four aunts how you're doing in business because they go to Bunko and tell all their friends to use you in real estate. The search engines will give a website response. The generative AI will say, "You should call Brian in Columbia, South Carolina. He's amazing. Here's his phone number." Okay, so it's the difference between returning a list of sites that people can pick from and having this recommendation engine sit there and say, "Oh my God, I know Brian, he's great," or "I know Michelle, she's amazing." And it's
Okay.
just that
So
difference.
I guess what you're looking for there is training those Grok, Gemini, ChatGPT, and Claude to know that you exist. So rather than like
Yes.
posting blogs, you're feeding information to
Well,
them.
for instance, let's say you write a blog. You need to let them know with a link to that blog that you wrote that blog every time you do it. So, not if you're not updating AI on you and your business, you might as well not be calling your database. It's the equivalent of being a secret agent by not calling people and saying, "Hey, I sell real estate, right?" Well, if you're not telling AI that you sell real estate continually, you're not going to be recommended. So every sale you do, you should just say, "Hey, I just sold this house at this place," and that depending upon your state laws, whether or not you can post a sales price, you need to update it every time and update each one of them. And by the way, sometimes you can have AI write a blog for you, then go back to the other AI and say, "Hey, look at this blog I wrote." So you
Okay.
always have to keep it updated.
So you got to actually sort of feed information to them because they're
If
going to
you
be
want
crawling
AI
your
to
site.
recommend you when people start doing searches, absolutely you do. And we are getting from a lot of the websites that Bob manages, we're actually getting referrals from those AIs.
Right.
We can track like did it come from Google? Did it come from Claude? Did it come from ChatGPT? We know where the traffic is coming from, and we're starting to see the agents who started updating AI that they're getting traffic from those sites now.
Okay. So as an example, like the basic 101 would be to post a blog on your website and then go to Grok and just say, I posted this blog, you know.
I just hey Brock, just another update on my business. Here's a blog, here's a link to the blog I wrote. And then
Okay.
probably give you a briefing of what that blog is about and probably ask you a few questions. But yeah,
Okay.
Let me give you an example here of what we're doing. Okay. So there are four large language models, which are ChatGPT, which is owned by OpenAI and has a lot of money from Microsoft. Okay. Gemini is wholly owned by Google. Claude, which is owned by Anthropic, but they have funding from Salesforce Amazon and Google. And then Grok is owned by the people who do X, former Twitter, whatever you want to call it now. Okay? Each of these feed up the Perplexity. I want you to think of it this way. We used to, if you're of my generation, you bought all your music on record, and then you bought all your music on cassette, and then your uncle had all the 8 tracks, and then you went out and bought CDs, right? I bought 3 of the 4 formats here. I didn't do 8 track. Okay? Your grandma had the player that played all 4 of them, right? Your grandma had this console that would play any of those 4 styles. That's what's going on here. These are 4 styles of data. Perplexity plays all 4 together. Perplexity itself is not the music, but it can play all 4. When you ask Perplexity a question, it will go source the answer from all 4 of those.
Okay.
So that's the difference between whether or not it retains the data or whether it just goes and sources it. You want to think of these 4 as ants who love you and who want to tell everybody about your business. So you need to be asking questions. You need to be telling it who you are. Hello, my name is. And if you're in my coaching circle, you've done this hello, my name is script. If you have not booked time with me, Robert has done this. And then you ask ChatGPT to ask you 10 questions. Ask me 10 questions about my business, one at a time, so you get to know me and my business better. Ashley, love, you don't have to take a picture. Let's do this. Then you take those 10 questions and the hello, my name is, and go to Gemini. Hello, Gemini, this is who I am. Here are the 10 questions ChatGPT asked me, and with my answers, ask me 10 new questions. Then you take hello, chat questions, Gemini questions, and you go to Claude and get it to ask 10 questions. Then you take all 30 questions in your hello and go to Grok. Now, at the end of this, Grok has 40 questions for you. This one has 30, this one has 10, 20, and this one has 10. So you go back and backfill. I just want to give you an update. Here are the 10 questions that Grok asked me with the answers. I'd like you to have those. Then you update Gemini with the 10 from Claude, and you backfill. It's like in Ghostbusters where they say, don't cross the streams. We're crossing the streams. We're letting each one of them know about each other. Okay? Then the next step is you're going to get Claude to write you a bio because Claude does the best writing. Okay? ChatGPT is the most well-used. Claude, I think, is the best writing tool. Okay? You want this bio to be amazing. And Claude does something called an artifact. Claude will say, hey, this article that you had me write is really good. Do you want me to publish this? And you go, oh, God, yes, please publish it. And that way it's on Claude as a published item. Okay? When you're done with that, you want to take that and put it on all these sites. You want to take that bio and put it on Fast Expert, HomeLight, Real Trends, Yelp. These are the sites that the AI snippet are pulling from mostly. When somebody says, what's going on in Columbia, South Carolina with this, that, and the other, it's going to draw from mostly these sites. Why not have our stuff on those sites? Okay? And one thing I do differently than most other coaches who are doing this right now is when we're doing this, I upload your sitemap with you. So as it's working, it understands not only did Michelle Richards do these sales and been in this business this long, Michelle's website has all these pages that I can recommend when somebody says, hey, I want to sell my home in northern New Jersey, but I'm in this other place. Then it can say, well, Michelle has a website about that as well, because we've given it everything about Michelle's site. So uploading your sitemap is, I think, critical to having a better response here. Does that make sense? Hey, Matt.
Yeah, you're uploading the sitemap to where?
To Chat, Claude, Gemini, and Grok.
Okay, and you have to subscribe to do that, or is it okay to
No,
use the free
you don't have to.
Okay.
No, you don't have
You don't
to.
have to. Now I do. I subscribe to Chat and to Claude. Gemini, I don't think has a subscription, and I just haven't gotten into Grok.
That's great.
I have a
And Bob,
question.
Bob, if you were
Sorry.
going
I'm
to pick
sorry.
one of these, which one of these would you suggest if they were going to subscribe?
I think Claude does the best writing, but ChatGPT is the one that's everybody's using. So if you want to be where the people are, as Ariel says in The Little Mermaid, you want to be on ChatGPT. But when you want high quality writing, go to Claude. I think ChatGPT is the VHS. I think Claude is the the DVD player that's coming later that's going to be stronger, but isn't there yet. Michelle, you had a question. We overrode you.
Well, I was curious about is it important to do the settings when you set up the chat, Gemini, Claude, Grok, so that it shares out your knowledge that you have put in there about yourself? Yeah, I'm sure there's some
Yeah,
way.
generally those are turned on unless you specifically go turn them off per chat. So generally, even though you may have told the terms of service, I really don't want this, they're still learning things about you. Now, it will never come back and say, Michelle told me how to do this. But it'll say, if you need someone who knows how to do this, talk to Michelle. It doesn't necessarily say, Leslie told me how to change the oil on the car, because Leslie doesn't know how to. But it would say Leslie has, it would say, if you need to know something about changing the oil, talk to Leslie. So it doesn't directly quote you, but it does refer to you.
Mhm. Does it share to other agents out in the world then about what you're feeding it, about yourself and
I think it does. I think I think it's more of a recommendation than a, you know, Michelle told us this. It may say now some agents have tried this. It would not directly cite you. To my knowledge, it would not directly cite you.
right? Because I mean, I
So let me
hear of some agents or who've written books and they put in their books and they put in, I don't know, all the emails and blogs and everything they've ever written. They might even put in other people's all their tweets and everything that they've ever done,
Mhm.
and then it's so that the chat can sound like them and give them future things to ask for that sounds like themselves. But surely then if it's going out, that's how we can say, write a blog that has the tone of so and
Right,
so.
right.
Okay.
And an example of how this really works in your favor by feeding the information is if Sally Sue over here decides that she wants a market report in for Main Street City, whatever it is, and she says, give me the market report for the last 90 days. If you've written a blog about that and you've already submitted it and said, hey, here it is, it may reference your blog with links back to your site. So that's what you're seeing is when they're making those recommendations, they're pulling data information not only from realtor.com, stuff like that, but it could actually find from your site too, because you've already submitted it.
So yeah, so one thing we're trying to do is trying to make the ability to upload that data easy going forward. Okay, so you're going to go through the hello, my name is process, ask me 10 questions, and you're going to cross the streams and you're going to do that. After you get all that done, you want to use something called Notebook LM to write a nice video about you. Notebook LM is it's like two people from PBS broadcasting today about how great things are for Ashley in Alvin, Texas. Have you heard of Ashley? Oh yeah, and it's this great little video. Notebook LM is by Google. You take that and download it and put it onto YouTube, which is owned by Google. And the Notebook LM video does better than the one I'm standing in. So I get kind of grumpy about that.
And by the way, Notebook
So
LM is more than just video. Like I actually took a video Bob made for a team because people had questions about the commissions, and he just made a quick video from his phone, and I loaded that into Notebook LM, and it gave me a policies and procedures, and it got everything right. And it did it in minutes, and it was very professional. So beyond that, it will write blog posts for you if you want to. It will analyze something for you if you want to. You can literally take someone else's say file there. Let's say there was a coach that had a marketing file that you wanted, but you wanted to create your own. You load that, and then you can have it redo the entire thing to match you, to be more of your voice. So it does a lot more than just video. It's really great.
yeah. So Brian, you asked the question, how does traffic show up in analytics that AI is accessing? The AIs don't you generally at this point have crawlers. So they're depending on information fed to them through the search engines. This is where some of them are getting, I'm not an attorney, I'm not trying to touch the third rail here. They're getting in trouble with some of the stuff that's been fed to them because it's been copyrighted. When you take all the music and all the books and all the movies and everything and you feed it so that your AI has so much data about contemporary, world stuff, you don't own all that. Somebody owns that, and somebody's going to be kind of grumpy that you took their stuff and taught the AI how to write like them or how to speak like them. or how to, do things like this person would. That's not something that, I want to touch, but it's happened. So one thing we've been working on is, and if you're one of my coaching clients, you've seen the quarterly numbers before. We talk about, how you've done each week. How many days did you work? How many hours of power? How many dials, emails, SMS? Some of you are like, oh my God, he's doing this to me again. In the new one, we're going to start looking at ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude, Grok, and Perplexity. How many times we're using those? Okay. But as we're doing this, it's writing a prompt that we can use over and over again. I want to give you an update on my real estate career. In Q1 2026, I've completed the following. How many days we've worked, hours of power, dials. We are telling these 4 large language models how we're doing in our career. Because we've already done the hello, my name is, and the 10 questions. This is a quick update. We can give it every couple of weeks as our numbers change and we get new sales. And it's going to go, oh my God, Randy is so good. Randy's business is taking off. I'll recommend Randy. Okay, this is not just about, hey, could you help me write a YouTube description? That doesn't really help it know who you are. When you report back on how your business is doing, that tells us who you are. And that's where it can go, oh my God, Randy's great. Randy, what part of the world are you in? You're
Mike.
muted. You're in the muted part of the world? I've been there.
Yeah, Amarillo, Texas, up in the Panhandle.
Amarillo, Texas. Okay, so in Amarillo, Texas, then Randy would be the person to call, and Randy just gave it some information about Randy's business, so we know who to refer to. And by the way, I kind of feel like the squeakiest wheel gets the most references. So the more you tell it, I mean, without confessing everything, to Michelle's question there, you don't want to necessarily tell it, all those times what something went wrong, but you want to be, you want to be telling it. Now, the other thing in this, and I was just on a call with 2 of my coaching clients together, they were doing a tech hour together. In the ChatGPT, and I think Claude, and I don't know if Gemini has a little microphone. So if you don't want to type, hit the microphone. Because what I found was I started telling it answers rather than typing the answers. And Leslie will tell you, I just talk. And I go on and on and on. And I realized that I was giving Claude some anecdotes and stories about stuff that I hadn't given to Gemini, that I hadn't given to. So that's where I started taking all those answers and saying, well, they should know this story too. And they should know, and started crossing them back and forth. Because if you just start talking, I bet a lot of us are much more verbose than we are typing. And you don't want to do like some folks have done when you're answering the 10 questions or the 5-question update or whatever. You don't want to go yes, no, blue, thank you. You want to give it 3 to 5 sentences minimum. Because how is this ant going to go out and tell their friends at bingo about you if you don't tell it stuff?
And by the way, I've never had to ask a yes or no question. So it's always guiding you to give more.
Yeah. But it's interesting how people who don't really want to do the assignment will find a way to make it a yes or no question.
By the way, and I've seen them actually. Can I skip this one? It's like,
you can say, let's say that Ashley gets a question that really isn't on point or it doesn't really help. Ask me a different question.
Yeah.
Or ask me a better question. If all 4 of them ask you, Matt, why did you get into real estate? You can say, ask me a better question. Ask me a deeper question. Ask me a more meaningful question. Or just be a politician and answer the question you wanted to hear. Why haven't you, filed your papers in the last 17 years? Well, I want to talk about, this, that, or the other. Okay, great. Change it to where you want to go and you can ask it. I love all of y'all are smiling at that because y'all know it happens. We want to be sure that we answer the ones we want to answer and go that direction.
Bob,
Next,
can
who else got questions?
Yeah, can you feed it then in a direction that you prefer to go and
Sure.
make it, if you, I don't know, focus more on a certain area that your business is stronger in and just keep going
Today,
there and
give me an example. Michelle, give me an example.
Make it sound like, you've done something more than what you've done.
Of course.
Like maybe whether you've had more home sales in the luxury market, because you
Okay,
want to go
so
that
today
way.
I want you to ask me 5 questions about luxury home sales in northern New Jersey and how I've been impactful helping my clients. Send.
And by the way, every one of these I've done this on, it asked me which areas I feel like I specialize in. So you can absolutely guide it to where you want it to be. And if it doesn't ask you, give it the answer you want it to have.
That's what I'm meaning. Like you can almost like guide it
Yes.
to what you want
Because
to.
it only knows
Exactly.
what you tell it. It only knows what you tell it. It doesn't know anything else, only the information you're feeding it.
Right. And everything that you put on your weekly chart.
Yeah.
Thank you, Coach Bob.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
Nice.
Assuming you do it. And if you're in my coaching group, you're going to do it. So yeah, I'll watch you do it. Make sure you do it. Anyway, it's just a totally new revolution. And this is something we've talked about when, I've been getting my degree and stuff like that. By the way, I graduate in January. Yay.
Yay.
So I now have a graduation date, so that's great. Because they told us it would be one of these 3 days and didn't tell us which day. So one of the things we go over is what website has, how long did it take to get to 50 million users? And like TV took like 18 years and all these things. Angry Birds did it in like 18 days to get to 50 million users. The next major site hasn't been written yet. So when ChatGPT and all these others are coming along now, this is the wave. And in 3 years, everybody will be sitting back on, yeah, I did that. I got that. Kind of like Google Business Profile was the wave 3 or 4 years ago. Hey, everybody, geotag your pictures and put them on your Google Business Profile and get some reviews and go out there and put all your products, which is still valid. But now everybody in, the Topeka Board of Realtors is like, yeah, we got a class on that now. Not everybody has a class on what we're doing now. This is what they're calling the Goldilocks moment. Let's get ahead of it before everybody else does.
And by the way, you should be feeding AI your Google reviews. Any review you get, you should
Yes.
feed your reviews to because it's not just oh, this is what other people are saying. And I've actually seen it. I've only seen this once, but I've seen it quote a review for another agent when I was doing a search in another city. It was
Okay,
not the
Brian,
agent
I'm sorry.
it was not the agent I was on the phone with or on the Zoom with, but it literally gave a quote from one of that guy's reviews.
So Brian, you keep asking questions in the chat here.
Yeah, sorry, I just didn't want to interrupt. And I didn't want to forget what I was thinking. I'm trying to write stuff down and not interrupt
So
at the same time.
should we continue to push traffic to our website with AI? Yes. You want them to recommend it to your website because then the person signs in and you drip on them.
Okay, so it's not
One,
like Google My Business was always seems, I mean, since that's a Google and Gemini and all that align, are you pushing it to there and then from there it goes to your website, or are you going to your website? As a
I'm asking it to send people to the website.
Yeah, okay.
Although I did upload links for not just my social medias, I also loaded up for my Google My Business. I gave it the links to all my social media profiles and my Google My Business profile.
So Leslie, when what you just said, you send your reviews to Google My Business or from Google My Business to
Oh yeah.
right?
I gave it the link, and by the way, most of the AIs, and I haven't had one that had an issue yet that says I can't read it. I just give it the link, and it tells me about take the link, put it in there. It'll tell you about the reviews. It'll give you basically, oh, here's what your people are saying about you. You can have it say, hey, could you create a word cloud for me out of all these reviews, and you just post a link to the reviews. And by the way, that's the other thing AI will help you better with. Find out what those keywords are you want your reviews to have in them to help better guide them, and start sending your people a form. Hey, here's the words I'd like you to use if you're going to give a review. Or you can just have them fill out a questionnaire, and now that is the review. And that those questions have those terms in it that you're wanting to be found, that you're wanting SEO for.
So what would be better if I sent a link, if I gave ChatGPT a link to my Zillow review, or if I just copy and pasted it and said, hey, ChatGPT, I want you to know about my latest review, and then paste it in?
Both. Because it
Both?
can't crawl if you put the link there, it'll know there's a link, but it doesn't know what's in it because it doesn't crawl. here's a link to my latest review. It says this.
Bob,
That way when somebody,
it actually can read the review.
it can, okay.
Yeah, because I had it
I would
create a
still
word,
do both.
I had it create a word cloud just from the link of my reviews.
Apologies. I would have it do both,
Okay.
just to double, triple check.
Okay.
Leslie, did you do that on Chat, Gemini, Claude, or Grok?
Gemini.
Gemini, okay. Maybe Gemini's, I don't know. I would do both.
But even
Okay.
on Claude, if I give Claude a link, it can tell me everything about where that link is at. What's going on that page. It will give me a summary of it. So I'm pretty sure most of them can actually. Now, what some of them can't do is they get Claude can. I think it's Claude. But if you give it, actually not Claude, Perplexity. No, Notebook LM. You can give it a link to a YouTube video, and it will give you the summary of the video and
Wow.
maybe a blog post if you want to do it or anything like that. I don't know that I haven't tried using YouTube links and any of the other AIs yet.
So, Bob, on the last coaching session that we had, you got me blogging and using Claude to blog, and I have been packing my website with bunch of short little blogs. Like, I think I'm over 30, just
Excellent.
like
Excellent.
just cranking them out, actually having a lot of fun, getting my preferred lender in there, talking about first-time home buyers and, to connect her and, the different bond programs. So, at the beginning of this chat, you mentioned I should be sharing those blogs with the big four AIs. Should I just can I just copy links to all of them and do it all at once, or would it be better just to, hey, here's a blog, here's a blog, here's a blog, here's a blog?
No, I wouldn't do it. Here's a blog, here's a blog, here's a blog. I would probably do it all at once.
Okay.
The blogs, how to phrase this. I
The
think the more important things to share would be how you're doing with your sales, how you're
Okay.
doing with your calls and your outreach, more than taking a AI generated blog and giving it to the other AIs.
Yeah.
I think at some point we need to have original thoughts go out.
Yeah.
And I know there's very few original thoughts anymore, but I think we should have original thoughts going out. And that would be how you're doing with your business, your latest event that you had with your clients and how it went. If you don't know Robert, he dresses up in the T-Rex sort of outfit and goes and does sort of client events. It's hysterical. But that sort of thing would be important for it to know versus, hey, this AI wrote a blog and I'm going to give it to the next AI.
Okay.
Yeah, those are more for, in my mind, those are more for the crawlers to find and discover things about you and find the keywords and that more than the other AIs. But I think if you told it you had and don't mention names, but I had a difficult buyer situation this week and we submitted multiple offers and we've been struggling to find the right house and I finally got them the right property and it inspected really well this week and we're going to be closing in about 2 more weeks. I'm so excited. That sort of story, which AI could never write for you, is more important. If
Gotcha.
Matt would write something about, being in University Park this week and saw this great house and it's historic and blah, 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 and whatever about, what's going on, that's much more important than ChatGPT writing an article for him about University Park and how great he is, which I'm sure he is, but it's going to be more important that it's about
Okay.
you and it's your knowledge.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, at some point, like, I forget who it was. I was having an argument with somebody by email, and they were arguing something about, using AI more. So I just took his argument, put it into ChatGPT, and said, write a response. And so I started arguing with him in ChatGPT. You want to use AI? Here's ChatGPT's response. You want to, and so we had this little thing, and finally he was like, wait, you're doing this to me, aren't you? Yes, I am. See, it's annoying. It's annoying. Have an original thought. Use this to supplement. Use this to get other people to know about you. Don't just depend on it all the time. I think original thought is dying off. Who knows?
Is there anything that
Who else has got questions about marketing right now? Actually, don't dominate the conversation. What's your questions right now in Alvin, Texas? What questions do you have?
I'm just taking notes because I'm like, holy crap, I got a lot of work to do.
Yeah.
Okay. Tell me about Alvin. How's the market in Alvin right now?
It's slow right now. I don't know if it's just me or what. I'm getting a few listing appointments here and there, but that's about it.
Okay. Okay. How are we doing lead attraction?
You know, I'm not doing great. So
Okay.
I've fallen off, especially like with social media and stuff. Just this time of year, lose focus. So
So,
yeah.
and I'm not laying this at your feet because we are
Yeah.
all real estate agents on this call.
Yep.
A lot of real estate agents get to Thanksgiving and they go,
Yep.
oh, it's the holidays.
Mhm.
And they actually have like a holiday month. And then they wake up in January and go, oh, I got to pay for all this.
Where's my
And they
business?
work,
Yeah.
work, work, and their first paycheck comes in mid-February or early March if they're lucky.
Right.
Okay, that going to sleep phase happens. And one thing we've got to push through and keep doing is it's a holiday, not a holiday week, not a holiday month. Okay.
I love it.
Christmas is a season, Thanksgiving is a day, so thus I have the tree. But it's we need to keep in progress because those friends and family that we're wanting to have as a sphere are going to be sitting at home with their folks or their kids, and they're going to be scrolling the phone. And if we're online doing stuff in front of them, they'll see us.
Yeah.
Anytime there's a snow day, by the way, anytime there's a snow day, that's a marketing day for you. Because people are gonna be home with their kids, frustrated, they can't send them to school and well, they can't go to work. Be in front of them on snow days. Michelle's laughing because she knows this, because she's got kids who had to stay home in school, you know?
I don't know. You can be in
Alvin,
front of them.
Texas doesn't get many snow days.
It gets lots of rain, and we so
Yeah,
I'm
flooding
in
days.
we get lots of flooding days. I'm in Houston. But every time there's a storm in Houston, I text and call my clients. I call the ones I like. I text the ones I want their business, but I don't want to talk to them. And I just check on them. I can't do anything if they don't have electricity, but they remembered I checked on them. It gave me a reason. They tell you to touch your clients 8 to 14 times a year. Believe me, we have enough storms in Houston. I make sure I got those touches in. It's an easy excuse to just reach out to them.
So who's got really good Thanksgiving plans? Anything good coming up? Anything you're marketing with Thanksgiving?
Well, you know what
Anybody
I'm
doing the
doing.
pies? I'm
Yeah.
sorry,
I was gonna say, yeah, the pies, you know what I'm doing. And actually,
they don't.
okay. Well, Bob gave me this idea. So my preferred lender, her office is giving out pumpkin pies. So I've jumped on that bandwagon thanks to Bob. Costco, Ready whipped cream, having ordered a bunch of Avery stickers, going to cover that with my own branding and my preferred lender. So here's your pumpkin pie, and oh, here's whipped cream that's got Real Estate Rob, the dinosaur. And so that way and then my preferred lender's contact info, and it will be handed to them at the same time as the pie. So we'll be uh as people are spraying Ready Whip on their pumpkin pie, they'll see our faces and hopefully spark a conversation.
So everybody's doing pies, and I was sitting here one day, and I was like, I got so excited because I'm like, okay, everybody's giving you a pie. I'm giving you a party in a can, and you shake the can, and you just do the little shot of Ready Whip. This is good for like Halloween. You can give the kids each a little shot of Ready Whip. You can do it for Valentine's Day and make all the double entendres we shouldn't make on a public call. You can use this over and over, and it's $3 to $5 a can rather than 20 to 25 bucks a pie. Okay. And I love the fact that they have culturally appropriate Santas. Piss off your neighbor who doesn't give him the wrong Santa and just watch his head explode, that sort of thing. So, it's just it's kind of cool. And I thought it'd be fun, and it just kind of took off. So yeah.
So
Find your uncle who's always grumpy and give him the wrong Santa, see what he does.
So Ashley, you said that you were lacking on social media. You were falling behind. So Bob, can I share my screen really quick? And I'll show you what I do.
Absolutely.
Bob had mentioned my mascot Robbie Rex. And so this is what I do is I'll use AI and I'll be like, okay, what day in history, what notable things in history pop culture, national day ofs happen today. And I'll go through and, oh, on this day in 91, Nirvana released Nevermind. And then I interject Robbie Rex, you know, in the Nirvana photo. Um, first day of
I
fall.
love this.
First day of fall. And then of course there's my, now pendings in there. National Talk Like a Pirate Day, National Hamburger Day, you get, you know, Constitution. So they're easy things to do. And in fact, Bob will go, "Oh, I didn't even have to see who this was." I didn't even have to look, on my post because he saw the dinosaur. So, there's easy things to do that get people's attention, and we'll tie back to you.
How'd you come up with the dinosaur? Was that a AI
I
thing?
it was like a random thing when I first started in real estate. I saw and it was freaking hilarious. I've done parades. I've got like an army of people in the rideable T-Rex inflatable costumes. I have T-Rex stickers that I hand out to kids instead of candy because kids are inundated at parades with candy. So if you say, "Hey, who wants a dinosaur sticker?" the kids freaking go nuts and you're handing out these cheap ass stickers. I just had a bunch of Amazon. You can get 25-foot tape measures for like $2 a piece. I just had print shop create stickers, Robbie Rex stickers with my website and phone number on them, and I keep them in my car. And we're doing the final walkthrough. Oh man, I forgot a tape measure. I wanted to measure for blinds. Here you go, keep it, and it's got my branding on it with the dinosaur.
That's a great
Tell them about,
idea.
was it In-N-Out Burger? I'm sorry.
Yeah. In-N-Out opened up in the first In-N-Out opened up in Washington State, and so me, my preferred lender, my husband, a co-agent, I wrangled a co-agent. We were out there handing out flyers, people waiting, to get on the property for In-N-Out. Like, hey, you love In-N-Out, you can live next to one. Here you go. So just have fun. Some things work, some things don't. Things that don't work, you're like, well, sounded good on paper. Let's move on. It's I have fun. I'm a big kid. I'm, middle-aged, fat kid that that loves to have fun. And I try to reflect that hey, hire me. I have fun, but not too cheeky because then you start to lose credibility when you're too jovial. So there's a balance there.
Who's ever done a marketing thing that didn't work well? Don't leave me hanging here. I egged 200 houses at Easter. Okay, I bought 200 little plastic Easter eggs, and I was going to put my business card inside and put it on the front yard of 200 houses. Who's not going to open an Easter egg on Easter morning? Well, I didn't realize the Easter eggs were too small and couldn't take a business card. So I had to get 200 little label sort of things and put them inside. When I was running late, and so I had my friend Kevin drive me, and I sat in his backseat of his car, and I just very gently tried to chuck the egg into the yard. And some of them landed okay, but some of them popped open and splatted little plastic shells with my name. And I'm like, just drive faster, just go, But you gotta try. Who's not going to open an Easter egg on Easter morning? Well, apparently I didn't get any calls from that, but it was something unique and different. And just to Rob's point, I'm going to always kind of go for the funny and the make people laugh and make people, happy. There's too much drama in the world. Let's do something that makes people giggle. So I would totally get in a T-Rex and do that.
Yeah.
I show up at conferences in full sequence. So, what the heck?
Bob, you've been a Christmas tree. You've been the Statue of Liberty. Oh, and you were a Christmas tree again. What else have you gone as? Oh,
I was
lava
an
lamp.
18-foot lava lamp. I was a 13-foot fully lit Christmas tree. I was Santa with Santa float with 3 reindeer. Yeah, my Halloween is just epic. So
He's used to
love it.
costumes.
Love it. But
okay,
yeah,
guys.
yeah.
Anything else we want to wrap up on? Because I just want to be sure we're cognizant of time. Anybody else have any marketing questions? Who's already thinking of their events for 2026? Matt, I saw your hand go
Nope.
up, but then you gently
Nope.
put it back down.
Nope.
You got to be thinking of What are your marketing events for 2026? Now is the best time to be buying Easter stuff. Now is the worst time to be buying Christmas stuff, although that's what we're all buying for our clients. Now's the best time to be looking at 4th of July. I have one of my agents in Dallas, Fort Worth. What he does is he waits till the 1st of November and he cleans out every Spirit Halloween. Everything's 75% off of Spirit Halloween. Goes and just buys them out and puts it in the garage for next year. Hey, merch, and gets ready for the next year. So be thinking about your in-person events. Your online work builds legacy. Your in-person work builds paychecks. Okay? They get your passive and your active have to work together. So what a lot of people do is passive, 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 because there's very little fear of rejection. Active is scarier, so they don't do it, but it pays faster. So let's get into action.
Christmas, yeah. Just so you know, I'm sorry, I'm late. I apologize.
That's okay.
There's a lady, Roxanne Ardrey. She's a real news person. She has my favorite competition in the world for Christmas lights. Back in 3 years ago, she did these 3 years in a row. If you Google her name is Roxanne and her last name is Ardary, and she just Google Christmas lights and her name. And she had these landing pages set up for her area, which is full of 55 plus communities. So she pretty much had a bunch of co-sponsors who paid for these Christmas, like best Christmas light events, and all the person had to do was send their photo of the Christmas lights, and she would literally knock on doors of every single person on the 55 plus committee and just give them the handout to enter into the Christmas light competition if she saw Christmas lights in the place. And so because they were all like older people, they loved to talk because she wasn't selling them anything. She was just giving them she was just handing them Christmas light stuff. And from an
Oh,
SEO
that's cool.
perspective, what she did was she reached out to the local newspapers who covered these kind of events, and she got backlinks to the Christmas light event page from the newspapers. And
I
so
love
that was that was great SEO for her. She ranked for every subdivision name in her area because of doing stuff like that. I mean, you could technically do that for Halloween, Christmas lights, July 4, you name it. And you could even get your co-sponsors to link to or to mention the competition page, which is going to be on your Real Geek site, as a blog post or as a content page. So you could do something like
Excellent.
that too, guys.
Excellent.
Hmm?
So let's talk for a second about why the newspaper linking back to you is so important. Newspapers generally have a pretty high domain authority. Domain authority is measured between 1 and 100. Okay? If Beyonce goes to the microphone and says Mert is the best person to program your website, Beyonce, everybody knows 100, she's going to have 100 domain authority. If my aunt goes to the corner and says Mert's a great guy and you should talk to him, domain authority of 1, nobody listens to my aunt, not even us. So the thing is, you want to have people with a higher domain authority talk about you. Okay? So if you can get those newspapers to write up something about you for something good, not the bank robber looks like so, no, you want to be, for a good reason, you want to be in the paper. That's going to give you a much better, so this person that you're talking about got in the newspaper for the holiday lights, those domain authority links are going to make her come way up.
Exactly. I'm
Yeah.
trying to find the page. This is an old page, guys, like 5 years ago. She did this. I'm gonna put on Zoom chat, if you don't mind, for 1 second. The link,
Sure.
so everybody can see it. And then, yeah, just this was 5 years ago. She's retired now. She's just traveling the country now herself. She just refers leads now to other people, but this was the kind of thing she did. And I think this can be applied to for almost any time of season for any type of competition you want. As long as you can find some co-sponsors, you probably don't even have to spend a dime from your pocket other than just promoting it at your time. To be honest with you. Anyways, that was
Excellent.
the idea.
And one thing
That's
you can
great.
do,
That's great.
if you want those links back, you can. I put it in chat. You can just Google "write for us" in quotation marks, real estate or whatever your topic is, and you will find places that they allow you to write guest articles, websites that they allow you to write guest articles for. And that's another way to get additional links back. So those blog posts you're making, you can do this. And by the way, sometimes it'll say blog for us. You can say write for us or blog for us. And then you can submit those articles that you've already written. And that will get you links back. The example I use, Bob and I love Active Rain. to get links back because they have a high domain authority. Michelle, you're an active rain person, yay! And for me, the Houston Association of Realtors with our Platinum plan, we actually are allowed to blog on their site, and they have a domain authority of like 92. So why wouldn't I? Why wouldn't I do it? And what I've noticed, the other people who are blogging on there, they don't really put links back to their sites. They write the article, and I'm like, I'm really, because mine's link heavy.
One of the things we're doing when we're talking about the thing we were talking about early on about, the update to the GPTs and stuff like that on a weekly, monthly basis. If you upload your sitemap, it can then link to those deeper links rather than just your home page. Okay, so if I have a page for Plano, Texas homes on a corner lot, which I do, and it's not even something about Plano, Texas, it's not just going to go to Texas Prime Realty. It's going to go to Texas Prime Realty / Tech and Plano homes on a corner lot. And that link goes somewhere deeper in my site than just to the home page. Okay, it's getting people to go into your site to a page other than just the entry page so that your SEO goes up, because those deeper pages start ranking. Michelle, you look a little like I just said something crazy.
Sorry, I guess my face. Yeah, I'm thinking sitemap. I don't quite understand what you're talking about. Like, kind of go back a few steps and explain it to me. Like, well, sitemap. What is it? Sitemap.
A sitemap is something that's automatically generated. When you and I work together and I create a page for you, the sitemap automatically says, oh, there's a new page. And it makes a little list of all the pages that are in your site. So that when a crawler comes along from Google or wherever, it just goes to your site / sitemap and goes and gets the list. Okay. Now, it will go spider through your site, but it also just goes and grabs that sitemap and says, oh, here's all the pages Michelle had done for her. I'll go check those. Okay. So the sitemap is just a list of an inventory of everything that's been created. And it's just automatically created. You don't have to worry about it. Mert just put Michelle Richards Homes. Thank you. So that's automatically there. I just go copy that and put it into each of the 4 GPTs so that it has that inventory. It can pick one of the deeper pages to reference in the blog about Plano, Texas homes on a corner lot, rather than just my root page, Texas Prime Realty.
So I should put my sitemap into all of the LLMs, all the different LLMs?
We'll work on that.
Okay.
I got you back. You got a Bob.
So Bob
Everybody ought to have a Bob.
That's right. So Bob, after you because you're during the tech hours, you're working on creating different community sites. So should I go after you're done and update the 4 AIs? Like, hey, I wanted to give you an update sitemap.
We do it once a month.
Once a month.
Yeah, once a month. Not immediately after. I mean, like, give me a break to, like catch my breath. No, just go do it every month or so.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's so simple to do. I've been saving it down to a text file and then uploading the text file. Claude sometimes Claude wants me to just copy and put it in, but sometimes it's too much to copy paste. So, yeah, it's available in either way. Just save it to a TXT file. Yeah, most of it is sitemap.xml, like Mert put in the chat here. Sometimes I find sitemap.php.
Yeah.
And it's very rare that I found one the other day that was sitemap.php, and I was like, who's doing that? What craziness is this?
Real Estate Webmasters does that as an HTML sitemap, so that Google crawls it's a way for them to give authority to long tail pages. Like maybe some of the IDXs have like HTML sitemap that points to property detail pages, so Google gets to index them faster by crawling through the website. I don't know if it's a good idea or not, but that's a very old practice. And REW is a very ancient platform that still does that in a sense. XMLs are a lot faster. XML is a lot faster for people to crawl.
I know. It's like, why would you do that? Yeah. I miss you being on the call, Mert. Thank you for being here. Everybody have a great Thanksgiving. We will be doing this again in December. I'm not going to skip December. And let's be ready for January 1 to have a great new year.
Thank you, Bob.
So, take care, everybody.
Much appreciated.
Bye.